I am going to show you how all this stuff is working together. So you got your shoulders, those are just made out of like floor mats, foam, just Ava foam or whatever, and some smaller pieces of foam to do that stuff. And the little eyepiece is actually made of wood. So I just spray painted all a kind of goldish color, then hit it with some black wash to give some shadows. Anyway, that's basic cloth. You can just get that kind of anywhere that sells cloth. So the helmet itself, this is the acrylic dome, 14 inches is what I've got, but pop it open, it is connected by Velcro. Like literally, that's all it is, just some Velcro. And then the back is also connected by Velcro. So that right there is the back of the helmet. So I'll spin it around to show you. So this is the back of the helmet. This is where you see all your fans sticking out and stuff. And it connects to that piece of Velcro right there. So you just slap it down there and you got your helmet on. I know it's a little weird, it's awkward. And then that's pretty much the back of the helmet. So now that you got that, now the inside here, we'll get to this real quick. This foam, the foam neck piece, that I got from a guy named Evil Ted. He does all these foam tutorials online. Check him out. He does a lot of cool stuff. This is a foam neck. And there's, he's got blueprints and stuff for that too. But that's all made out of floor mats and stuff too. And then this little piece is foam here, which I just connected to the back. Now this is the interesting part. This is this rim. This whole rim is part of a pot for a potted plant. It's just a plastic potted plant, and I just cut the top off, and then I cut the shoulders to fit my shoulders, so there's like a groove in there. It's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, this is just the top of a potted plant pot. Just a plastic one. So it's just like black plastic. So I cut that with the Dremel, so this here is the big cut. It basically goes up and over your shoulder, like your neck and shoulder, like right in there. And then I had to put that in because that sets in the small of my neck, that little, between your shoulders, because that'll give you your fill and hold the whole thing kind of on yourself. And I guess I could show you underneath real quick. Well, we'll get to that. All right. So this is the headset. So this headset, the wire basically just goes down in here. I stuff all the wires in this, because this is like a little pocket here. That's where I put my, ID and money and stuff like that. My phone, if I can. It's hard to fit that in there. You might want to make adjustments for that. But yeah, that's the headset. It goes around, and I've got the wire coming out right here, which goes down under, which goes underneath your shoulder. Now the headset, the microphone, that goes to a shoulder speaker, which is in here, which I can show you real quick. So I just cut a hole into my whole get up for the shoulder, and then I cover that with that and talk to people through here. And then I'll show you the underneath real quick. So that is where it sets. It sets underneath, and it's literally just a wire that plugs in right there. And that just goes up through here, through the neck hole, comes out and connects to this. It's super simple stuff. Now this is the type of speaker that's in here. It is a Zweitec. I don't know. There's a bunch of different kinds, but they're basically like public speakers. You can get them on Amazon too, I think. And then they come with the little headset too, and it makes it super easy. And when I turn this thing on, I barely turn it up and I can talk to everybody. If you turn it up full blast, it's super loud. You could talk to like a huge crowd of people if you wanted. And then you got this part here, which is kind of neat. I never use it. You can put a little SD card in there, and if you have music and stuff on there, you can, I think you can double tap one of these buttons and it'll just start playing music through it. So if you want to do Spider-Man or something like that, you can totally play it through there. It would be funny. But anyway, I don't really do that. So that's your speaker. It goes right into the side, or at least that's how I've got it. I don't know how you'll do it. I am curious how you'll do it, because if I were you, I'd make a lot of, better decisions on building this thing. But yeah, there I got some supports here. This is the neck piece that Evil Ted makes. You can see the whole rim under here. This whole rim is the neck piece. Now, these are little supports that I put in here that holds the shoulders up. But I don't know how you're going to do that. But anyway, so the cape, I just left a slit right here. The cape just tucks down in there. Like, it's not even pinned in or nothing. I just barely have it tucked in there and it just holds. I can pull it out anytime I wanted. Whoops. So as you can see, the helmet is awfully sturdy. Like this thing like went down a parking lot once. Like it flipped off and it bounced across a parking lot. It got a couple little scratches on it, but these things are super ass sturdy. Just be careful of cutting the hole bigger. So when I was cutting the hole bigger, I don't know if you can see that or not. You see all these little bitty nicks? When I was cutting the hole bigger, I was using a Dremel diamond blade. Look at that. Look at that crack. Like these are all tiny little cracks, but I've had this helmet for years and none of these has turned into like a bigger problem. So I took a Dremel with a diamond blade and I just cut it real slow. And I mean, the original opening was probably about here, so I only cut it open maybe an inch or two more. But anyway, besides that, you'll figure that out. I trust you will. Okay. Now, let's get to the inside here. I'll show you some stuff. All right. So that is where your 3 fans will connect. At least that's how I did it. How you do it, that's all you. So you got your 3 fans connecting. You got your 3 holes, which I used the diamond blade Dremel for that. And actually didn't really crack on these. I don't know what the big deal was. But anyway, so you got your 3 fans. I just kind of taped them in there. I used a little piece of Velcro to hook the batteries in. The fans I've got glued on, except for that one. That one keeps falling off. This left one here. This one's a pain in the butt. This one keeps falling off. Anyway, so there's your battery. You got 2 fans plugged into one, because you could have 4 fans if you wanted with just 2 batteries, because there's 2 plug-ins on each battery. And then I just got one plugged in over here. And like I said, these are I've just got a little piece of foam glued onto the helmet, and then I got Velcro right in there. So the battery just kind of sticks to it, but however you want to do it. Let's see here, what else? The visuals, right. You wanted to see what it looks like to see through this thing. I will try to give you an idea through the camera. So when you're looking through it, if you move around and stuff, let me get a better angle on here. You can see things. It's a little difficult. But I may have put too much paint. You might want to put a little less paint. You might want to put more, I don't know. But when you're wearing it, I promise, you can see a little better than what this is showing. And like, the wall's all white, so that makes it a little weird. Plus my camera focus is getting in the way of the view. The way my camera's trying to focus on the helmet instead of what's looking past the helmet. So, I don't know. You can see a lot better than this when you got the helmet on. It's like putting it's like putting a thin sheet over your head, and you can kind of see through that. If somebody turns the lights on, you can see everything. So it works really well if you've got a decently lit room. If it's dark, it gets a little harder, and yeah. And if the sun hits it just right, it makes it a real pain in the butt to see. And the fans are for air, but they're also for getting the temperature inside the helmet to kind of match you and your hot breath and stuff like that, because it will fog up at first. When you first put it on, it will fog up a little bit, but as it accumulates to the temperature inside the helmet, like the whole thing and everything, it'll start to clear up, and then you'll be able to see pretty decent. Like, I mean, it's literally just a little tinted. There's a couple of speckles, but you can see really well. A lot better than what this camera showed. But then, it's just like, I put on like 3 thin coats. So if you do 2 thin coats, you could do 1 thin coat and try it. As you know, as long as you get the results you're looking for. It's like, man, you can see like all these little nicks and stuff. Yeah, that just came with the paint, I guess, when you're using it. That's a pretty good one right there. That's not bad. But I have used this thing for years. So we're talking like over 5 years. And it's a decent helmet. As you've seen, I dropped it. It landed on the floor and rolled over there, and it's fine. There's no big deal. Went across the parking lot. All good. So anyway,